Come on a little bit more.
waxaa barnaamijyadan idin soo gudbinaya anigoo ah muuse kuulow xuseen nuur xaaji iyo yaasiin
Andrina, right?
waxaan idin leenahay habeen wanaagsan
Lemoy.
But Lemoy is better. Just Lemoy.
Lemoy.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم دغستياشنا qiimaha qayl halka naga dhageysanaysaan waa radio 1 Soomaali waxaan mar labaad idin leenahay habeen wanaagsan oo bisha April ay tahay 2 sanadkana 2017 waxa caaw studio Martino waa dad aad u fara badan waxaan kaloo idin heynaa OCC iyo barnaamijyo kale waxa caaw studio Martino sida caadada ahayd Afro Mosaic Healthy Guide oo aad runtii ugu barateen inaad ka dhageysataan radio 1 Soomaaliya waa saaxiibkeen Dave Williams waxa kaloo caaw nala jooga Lemoy Simons oo runtii ka socota Rexdale Arts Collective iyo Andrea LeBlanc oo ah runtii writer iyo poeter waxaana caawa ka hadli doonaa we are going to talk about the importance of artists. Welcome Lemoy Simons and Andrea and Mr. Williams. Good night. How are you?
Well, good evening, Moose, and to our listeners out there. It's Dave Williams again, coming to you live from Chin Radio. 1540 AM, 91.9 FM. We have in the studio here with us Lemoy Simons and Andrea LeBlanc. Okay, so Lemoy, you're the founder of Reckless Art Collective.
Yes.
Reckless. Can you explain
Why
that?
reckless?
Yes, explain why reckless.
Reckless because I find that as artists, we are so passionate about our work. We do things out of love, out of a desire to give back. And so we do things that are not the best, right? We write all night, we draw all night, we paint all night. We travel the world on low to no budget, just giving back and creating. And some people may say that's a little bit reckless, but we do it because we love it, and so it's a great name for our group.
Okay, and why did you create this Reckless Art Collective?
I've been doing art for 9 years, and as an emerging artist 6 years ago, I found that there wasn't much space and much platform for me to create, for me to perform, especially living in Brampton. Not much happens, so I'd always be traveling outside of the city, you know, coming downtown to perform and to create. And so I wanted to give something back to emerging artists that I never had: mentorship, guidance-ship, stages to get paid to perform, while also doing it in a city that is lacking lots of arts and diverse arts as that.
Right. So, you know, it's really strange how Lemoy and Andrea came together. Andrea,
Yes.
how did you get involved with Reckless Heart Collective, and how did you guys come to know each other?
Honestly, it's by pure coincidence. Where I live in Mississauga, my counselor was taking some of the residents to a poetry slam because we are known for being writers, and Lemoy was the MC for it. And I performed a couple of my poems, which I wrote when my mental health took a really downturn, and it turned out really fun. It was nice to finally share some of that part of myself with other people, because a lot of the poems I wrote during that time I kept to myself, and so that's how she and I
Right, so you talk about mental health, which is something I'd like to talk to you about.
Okay.
Can you just tell me what happened with you? You know, how things, because from talking with you, you were young, vibrant,
Yes.
everything was going for you, you were about to go into college, and explain to me exactly tell our audience what happened.
I've kind of been in and out with mental health since I was 13, but a lot of what happened in recent times was during my graduate studies. Because, during my undergrad, I had friends, I was happy, I was doing well at school. And then I moved from where I was in Ontario, where I was surrounded with a support system, me, my family, friends, and the resources Ontario has, to the Maritimes, which was really very isolating for me. And during that time, it really aggravated mental health problems that I sort of knew were there, in terms of, like, say I had trouble concentrating and reading and staying focused. Then it went to, like, my thoughts always being negative and going downhill to the point where I couldn't sleep, couldn't really think, and and like my emotions all often went sort of like, I like to think of it as this teeter-totter. One minute they were up, another minute they were really down, and it was very hard for me to control. And what happened eventually was I moved back here to get better resources, because as much as I love the Maritimes, they don't always have the best because it's so small out there. My mental health ended up taking such a horrible downturn that I ended up hospitalized from overdosing on pills. And what helped get me through that, even during like the overdosing, being hospitalized, and really coming to my diagnosis, was writing. Especially during the hospital, I wrote a lot about what I experienced in the hospital, what the thoughts and the emotions, because it really put on paper what I was feeling.
Right. And so Reckless Art Collective came about as a way of a therapy for you, because you had a way to express yourself. That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Have you ever thought that this year, what you thought about would be able to touch lives in this manner?
Yes, I did. And
Yes?
that's why I created the group. It was to give artists a place to write, to be vulnerable, to be authentic, and to be surrounded by community and love, knowing that we've all been there. As artists, we've all been there at some point in time, but sometimes we don't talk about it because we feel so alone.
Right.
So I created it to give us a space to come together, to create, and then to share and to perform and to connect with other people who are like, I've been there.
Right.
I know what it feels
Right.
like to be there.
Yeah, so could you share with us one of the things, you're an amazing writer. I got
Thank
to
you.
hear some of your stuff. Could you share with us one of your thoughts?
Sure. It's a poem that I wrote back when I was still in the Maritimes, and I was spending time, like I was living with my dad, so I wouldn't be alone as much, but it still wasn't where I needed to be to start really thinking about getting better. And the title is called Loneliness. Loneliness, noun. Sadness because one has no friends or company. Alone, adjective and adverb. Having no one else present on one's own. And the example they use is she was alone that evening. Loneliness, sadness because none are close, so easily covered and hidden, yet explodes when you least want or expect it. God says I am never alone, yet I feel so alone. I am with my dad and his friend Anna, but I feel more like I'm the lonely third wheel. I want real friends that are more than just online. Where are you, my friends? Oh, right, no point. Only here for 1 month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months. Cannot find, as I only connect with people so well. I have Asperger's. I cannot read the social cues. Only so many read me. So few understand how lonely I am. The assurances they give fall on deafening ears now. Until I can find stability and permanence, until I can find people like me, I am alone. Forever alone. God says he is with me, yet the Lord God said it is not good that a person should be alone. I will make them a helper. Yet God created me to be without romance and the partnership he found for Adam and for Eve. What is there for me? Am I to be like lonely Jeremiah? No wife or children, as they will all be destroyed anyway? Am I to be like Ezekiel, where company and loved ones are always taken away? Or am I to be like David, who drives loved ones away because of my own actions? Or am I going to be none of these? Will I be Job who loses for no reason on earth? Will this lowliness I serve a greater good? Will I be sanctified more? Or will I just sit on my behind, alone? Alone, to have no others like oneself, just alone. Quite lonely, it is sad given how many friends I had before. Tragic and depressing, no wonder I'm still depressed. Where is my hope? Where is my faith? Alone.
Wow. That is powerful. That is really, really powerful. I know we talked earlier on and you said that, thoughts were going through your mind, suicidal and stuff like that. And you find that writing really helps.
Yes, because I think, especially when it comes to things like depression and other mental illnesses, the worst thing that can happen is to keep the thoughts to yourself. Because then they just circle and circle and circle, and I find they get heightened, they get worse, they get to the point where you don't know what else to think anymore. Because that's all you have. But once you write it down and get it on paper, it's freeing. It releases them to the air, in a way.
Okay, well, I wish we had more time. But definitely, we're going to get you back here, Lamoy, so that we can follow up and see how things are going. Tell us, how can someone get in contact with you?
Yeah. For sure. You can hit us up on our website, recklessartscollective.com. On Facebook as well, we are at Reckless Arts Collective, and on Instagram, Reckless Arts Collective. You can come to our writing workshops. They are free. You can come to our open mics and do what Andrina did and share your thoughts and be with community and be with village.
Any last word, Moose?
Absolutely, that was really amazing poem, and I really say that's really amazing, and I really thank you also for the coming also here. And I say thank you very much also Lomo Simmons also. The name even itself, Reckless, that really has some also, you know, very important also name, but I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and also thank you, Mr. Williams, also.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. You can follow us on Facebook. We're going to continue on Facebook. Please visit their website. If you have children that are writing, here's where they can go. That is Reckless Heart Collective. Okay? Okay? The name. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Okay? All right.
dhegeystayaasheena qiimaha qaayada halkaad naga dhegeysanaysaan waa Radio 1 Soomaaliya. Dadkaasi waxay ahaayeen Lomoy Simmons oo Reckless Arts Collective ka socota iyo Andrina LeBlanc oo runtii ah gabar qoraa iyo runtii she's a writer and poet also, and I say thank you very much. Have a good night.
Okay.
Thank you. dhegeystayaasheena qiimaha qaayada waxaan idinla socodsiinaynaa in magaalada Toronto ay runtii ay ku soo biireen